This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
So everybody, welcome to show 291 Aussie Mac Zone. Pinching a punt for the first of the month.
Woohoo!
So that's Zarn. How are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic, Michael. How are you?
Very, very good, thank you.
Excellent.
Tonight it's Aussie Tech Heads Domains and IT Help to you, helping us along for our Aussie Apple ramblings.
Excellent.
I've got a picture for story one.
For just before we start, for you in Facebook land.
Yeah.
Who like cats? My cat went missing 2 days ago, and we found her. None of you know this. I just sort of tell you.
Okay.
She'd been attacked by a dog, and she wasn't very well, but she's in the vet, and she's doing great now. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Good. Good.
Yeah, and so cat lovers out there, cats prevail.
Yes.
I know you're a cat lover too, Michael, so I thought,
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for telling us what's going on. Yeah, we weren't sure, so. Now, as I said, there's a picture for story one.
Yep.
Johnny Ive leaving Apple signals the end of the Steve Jobs era. CNN reports from Apple TV Plus to its chief designer moving on. The iPhone maker is becoming a different company. When Steve Jobs stepped down as CEO in August 2011, people said it was the end of an era. The departure of Apple design chief Johnny Ive, announced Thursday, is the latest sign of the new Apple. For the past couple of decades, Apple has gone through one of its most dramatic resurgences in history. Its tale of dramatic rise under co-founder Jobs, its decline and near death after his ouster, and then its rebirth as the stuff of Silicon Valley legend.
Yes.
Throughout that time, two names in particular have been credited with driving that success. Jobs, who returned to lead Apple again in 1997, and his right-hand man, Ive, whose design ethos has fueled a generation of sleek, minimalistic products like the iPhone. Ives and Jobs were close friends, bonding over frequent lunches at a similar sensibility for design. We, on the first meeting, in a quite shocking way, really did click, Ives said in a rare interview in 2017. We just established an immediate understanding. That partnership helped turn Apple from near bankruptcy into a behemoth of industry, even before Jobs passed away in 2011.
Yeah. When he said that they, frequently lunched and stuff like that, is it bad that I pictured like Sheldon and what's his name? His housemate. I can never remember his name. Leonard. There we go. Leonard. Yeah. I just pictured them eating lunch and how awkward.
Yeah.
even though they're friends and everything like that, it's just awkward. And Steve is like, thinks he's the boss, and Leonard, is just lets him think that. But that's how the relationship works.
Just down the canteen together.
Yep, that's it.
The company grew to become one of the most profitable and highly valued companies, worth nearly $1 trillion on the back of the iPhone. But sales have started to decline. Well, that's because everybody's got one, and they last so long.
I know, they really, really do.
And although everyone would love to have Apple problems, a mere $58 billion in sales and $11.5 billion in profits for the last quarter, it appears the age when hardware ruled everything has passed. Now, apparently, he's going to start his own company.
Is $11.5 billion in profits a first world problem or what? My God. 58 billion in sales and only 11.5 in profit.
Yes, we're there.
Yeah.
Now, he's going to start his own company, but apparently after, he stressed and convinced everybody that they should be making the Apple Watch, and after the first ones apparently started to sell correctly and well, then he's just basically stopped going to meetings and like not turn up at meetings he's supposed to be there. So there's people got all their presentations ready and he hasn't turned up. So he's just sort of lost the go, but he's still going to be, Apple's still going to be one of his clients apparently. So there you go.
So is he just going to start up a little design firm of his own sort of thing and basically contract to them?
Yeah, I think so. And it might only be for like little one-offs, or it might be for the awards or whatever. You don't know. But
he could also then go over to either Nokia or Microsoft or something like that, and offer design stuff as well. Maybe yeah.
Well, these are all the people that have been pinching his design. So
exactly. Now they don't have to. They can just pay for him to come and design it. Yes.
Now also, Jeff Williams adds some new design responsibilities to his portfolio, and Saba Khan is the new Senior Vice President of Operations. So just people moving around with positions due to him leaving.
Yeah.
Now,
story 2. This is what I'm interested in.
Some of the big companies have been complaining because they're not making money. So Apple reported vows improvements to News Plus after a lackluster start.
It really was a lackluster start.
I don't know. I'm getting okay. I'm not paying, so but I get everything I want from Apple News. Like I get more and more stories from Apple News.
You had the free trial and stuff like that. You have a little sticky beak at it, and so I did. I just didn't find anything extra. I wanted a little bit more technology news and stuff like that, and it just was. I'm only getting the same sort of notifications and that sort of thing. So,
All right.
Yeah.
All right. But now, Business Insider sources claim that publishers' revenue from News Plus is well below what Apple was projecting, 10 times what Texture was generating. And that's promising improvements to the experience for both readers and publishers. It's hoping to make News Plus more intuitive, for instance, and that could include clearer labels for paid articles. Right now, you typically have to look for a small News Plus icon next to headlines on articles that otherwise look like their free counterparts.
Yes.
Now, it's not clear just how Apple would address publishers' issues. However, they've expressed desires to both encourage longer reading sessions, since the publishers are paid based on time spent, and simplifying the conversion of magazines to Apple's format. We've asked Apple for comment. Pardon me. Sorry, still getting over that. The service has faced challenges from the get-go. If you believe rumors, the company didn't reach deals with major news publishers like the New York Times and Washington Post, reportedly due to concerns about the revenue split and a loss of control.
Yes.
And while the app to use it now ships with millions of devices, it's iOS and Mac only, unlike Apple Music. There's no Android or Windows clients. As such, it's a tough sell if you're both an Apple devotee and an avid magazine reader. The proposed interface and publisher changes won't address those questions, but they could represent an important step. So basically, it's getting more eyes onto it. I think that's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
It's a tough time. So, now, reminder this week, we are brought to you by IT Help to You. So have you got any challenges, IT-based challenges, please look up ithelptoyou.com.au and contact us. It's easy as just look us up, press the button, send us an email. Nothing to hide. Have a look at the dark mode website and go from there. ithelptoyou.com.au. Now, I've got a picture for story 3 too, which is...
We do.
Yeah. Now, the Bondi Apple Store upgrade features floor-to-ceiling green walls. 9 to 5 Mac reports Apple's latest Just found a typo. Store upgrade brings the outdoors in like never before. June 29 marks the grand reopening of Apple Bondi, the seventh oldest Apple store in Australia, and the sixth in the country to be modernised around a greater Today at Apple experience. As part of the upgrades, Apple has introduced a striking set of floor-to-ceiling green walls, unlike previously installed inside unlike any previously installed inside Apple stores across the world. Now, Apple Bondi closed temporarily in March for upgrades that are expected to include a video wall, forum seating for community sessions, and fixtures throughout. While Apple took a more modest approach and held on to classic graphic panels and feature base for accessory displays over modern Avenue display shelving, larger changes arrived in the rear of the section of the store. For locals, the upgrade will be all about expanded Today at Apple offerings. Apple Bondi's video wall, which is massive.
Yeah, you can see it in the picture that we've got up. I've left that picture up. You can see that video wall behind everyone there. It's
if anyone's ever been to the store at Bondi, the wall, that video wall's probably 3/4 of the width of the store. It's massive. Yeah. And it looks like good quality too.
Yeah.
Few in Australia have had the opportunity to participate in the full Today at Apple experience, but for those familiar with sessions and Apple retail architecture, the highlight of the renovation is a vertical garden containing 7,000 plants that carpet two sides of the forum. These green walls stretch over 30 feet and are watered by a custom irrigation system. Plants in need of the most sunlight are positioned near the store's skylight and can be individually moved and replaced. And just like to point out that the walls have replaced the trees that were spread around that end of the store prior to the remodeling. They had, I don't know, six trees or so down there.
Yep.
They were one of the first stores in the world to get the trees, and now they've taken the trees away, but they've got this massive greenery on the walls, which is really cool.
It's really nice, actually. Like, just looking at the plants, you can see that there's an array of different plants there.
Yeah.
So, you can see ferns and all sorts of different stuff there. It's very cool.
Yeah, and it's very like those the buildings in the city that have got the greenery on the outside of the wall.
Just as you're coming in from Western Sydney to the city there, you can see the buildings near the uni and the TAFE and all that sort of stuff there. Yeah, the green buildings.
So very, very similar to that, I think.
Absolutely.
Now, story 4.
I was going to say, did I miss one?
Yeah, because we don't really have any gaming this week.
Now,
it's been such a quiet week, and Apple have had their big presentation, and everyone's working so hard on getting all of the official Apple betas to work properly. So
and then back to what I said earlier about my cat. Now, I could have gone and done some gaming and stuff like that, but instead, I decided to take my cat to the vet. So I love you guys, and I'm sorry.
Now, Apple TV Plus focusing on quality over quantity, says Eddie Q. Apple TV Plus launching this fall, US fall, summer for us, will emphasize a small but high quality lineup, said Apple's software and services vice president Eddie Q in a recent interview. The company is working on creating the best content rather than creating the most, Q told The Times this week. He nevertheless acknowledged that Netflix has succeeded with a non-stop flow of new content, such that viewers can even complain about the barrage of making it so hard to choose.
It really is. And not just that, it's not all great. You know, I'm a big subscriber to this sort of stuff because I'd rather pay for my movies than download them. The same sort of reason as I would rather buy my music than steal it. You know, it's an artist content. They've worked hard at it. Why shouldn't they be paid for it? You know, even though here we are doing this radio show for free, and we are artists. Someone should pay us. But so I do subscribe to these things. But Netflix is, they lost the Marvel stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and not only did they lose it, some of it was really boring, and I don't understand how you can make a comic book boring. I really don't. I love comic books, and they're never boring, and but they managed to do that, and so a lot of people are shying away from Netflix and things like that because yes, there's so much to choose from. You don't know what to watch, but a lot of it's garbage, you know. And so that's what it is. So lesser content but better quality viewing sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eddie said regarding Netflix, their motto is to create a lot of content, so there's always something for you to watch, and it's working well. There's nothing wrong with that model, but it's not our model, Q said. So yeah, good on them.
Yep.
It's a challenging time for everybody.
Yep.
So now here's one I picked up this afternoon. But before I get onto that one, so you went to see Toy Story 4.
Yes.
Which is a Pixar movie.
It is.
Toy Story, a very famous Pixar movie, being like the first.
Yes.
And big. It hasn't been out for a while.
Yep.
You know, there's been a long time between 3 and 4. So what did you think?
Oh, I can't say a bad word about it, to be honest.
Yep.
And I really I'm a big fan of the Toy Story series, to be honest. I loved 1, I loved 2. 3 was all right, you know. It was, it's getting a bit older, you know, in the tooth.
Yeah.
But then 4 come along, and to be honest, I went with the kids, and I think the enjoyment in their eyes as well made me enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But it also had a great even flow of kid humor and underhanded adult humor. You know, and they really did make it for the family, you know, and so the dads and the mums could have a laugh as well.
Yeah. And that's the type of movie that Apple's wanting all their shows to sort of be, isn't it? Like on there, going back to Apple TV Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was one scene. I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody. I just there's one scene because Bo Peep's a big part of the movie as well in all the series. And at one stage they meet up, and Woody grabs her hand as he's falling, and her arm comes off, and he goes, "Ah!" and screams at it, and then she looks at her arm and screams and freaks out, and then he gets even more like, "Ah!" and she's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. This has happened before," you know, and sticks it back on, you know? And it's just that sort of thing, you know. So the kids are like, "Oh my god, it's happened," and then there's that joke that the parents enjoy. Also, the kids are like, "Oh, phew," you know, she's saved, but we get the humour in it, so it was good. Yeah,
excellent. So there is an Apple toy in there with Pixar. So
there is.
Yeah, excellent. Now, the Australian women's cricket team uses Apple Watch to improve player performance. Ahead of this year's Ashes series in the UK, the Australian women's cricket team has been using Apple Watch and a powerful activity monitoring app from the Australian Institute of Sport to optimise team training, reduce injury risk and enhance performance. Through wearing Apple Watch and interacting with the app, the team tracks and shares their all-day activity, enabling coaches to monitor and modify the team's workload based on key metrics, including training load, heart rate, mood, and sleep data. This real-time dashboard gives performance staff an insight into the team's workload and training capacity, and the ability to make meaningful modifications to improve a player's prospects, even from afar during periods where players are travelling. The Apple Watch delivers highly accurate and instantaneous data, which has helped us overcome previous challenges where player data reached us too late to be leveraged. Now we can analyse player data in real time and put interventions in place to manage player fatigue and mitigate the risk of injuries, said Cricket Australia's David Bailey, performance coach. Since the team has worn Apple Watch and shared activity, we've seen players become more accountable and pardon me, and engaged in the training process, more motivated by the data, and have more fun along the way. The Australian Institute of Sport developed an app to equip professional teams with a comprehensive athlete management tool that gives players and coaches powerful data to make better decisions. Now, we've also always known that the speed, breadth, and accuracy would be critical if data was going to make a difference to team performance, said Ian Morrow from the Institute of Sport, an applied technology and innovation project monitor. We also knew we would get performance benefits by having athletes obsessed with their data. And Apple Watch has helped us do this. The ability for the AIS to utilize the powerful sensors within the watch gave us an opportunity to deliver our ambition to innovate within performance management and create something literally game-changing. And one of the things he said is because they're all, yes, they're all competitive. They're a team, but they're all competitive.
Yeah.
They're all trying to, close their rings, and they're showing their rings to each other, and I'm going to get mine done before you, and all that sort of stuff, which is all a part of getting healthy together and
showing their rings to each other.
Yes, on their Apple Watch. Careful. So yeah, they could all close each other's ring. You're just going to get me into trouble, aren't you?
I know.
So
I stopped.
Now, lastly, I've got nothing else after this one. You, Zarn?
I do not. And hang on a second. Sorry, I apologise to everybody for what's just happened. No, there we go. I'm back.
Okay. Now, Apple finds an issue with. Oh, sorry, I've got another one after.
Yeah, a great Apple based site or site based on business using Apple products, using videos to show various success stories. Some of the examples retail selling, building industry, Queensland Police, finance. Yeah,
so it is a good little site. You just need to go and have a look and watch the videos to give you an idea of what it's all about.
And the link will be in our notes.
Absolutely.
And it is, what is it? www.apple.com.au/business/success -stories/.
Yes.
So there you go.
Now, don't forget, I've still got one more story. Yes, I do. But Aussie Tech Heads domains. So Aussie Tech Heads podcasting, Aussie Tech Heads web hosting, but domains. We all know how fast the .com situation ran out, and you got more and more people trying to register zones. You can even have a domain just ends in XYZ. Legally, that's one of the domain names that you can have. So you could have abc.xyz if you really wanted. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So if you go to athwebhosting.com.au and have a look around.
Excellent.
Please. Yes.
They're a great little company.
They are. That they are. Now, one last thing.
Story 8.
Apple finds issue with logic board in some 2018 MacBook Airs. Offers free repair. Now, Apple has confirmed an internal document to repair staff that it's identified an issue with the main logic board in what it says is a very small number of MacBook Air models. Apple's memo to repair staff notes that it has identified an issue with the main logic board, specifically in Retina 13-inch 2018 MacBook Air models with certain serial numbers. Apple will be emailing customers with machines within that serial number range if they've registered. Apple can only contact you if you registered that you've got the machine, which is one of the things when you first turn it on. Some people register, some people don't. So, yeah. So, Apple will be emailing you if you're in that serial number range.
Yep.
Otherwise, customers can take their machine to Apple stores or authorised repair centres to have their devices checked out.
Excellent.
Apple's documents list symptoms as issues with power, but do not elaborate on what problems users are experiencing exactly. A quick search online for problems with the 2018 MacBook Air logic board shows reports back to when the device first launched, with some users' machines not able to power on at all.
Yeah, right.
There is a link to the 9 to 5 Mac story.
Yep.
Again, in the show notes. And that's the best I got this week. So
Awesome.
don't forget.
A bit of a short week this week, guys, but thanks for being here. G'day, Shane. How are you, mate? Yeah, Shane said, "G'day, fellas." He's watching. So thanks
excellent.
For watching,
thank you, Shane, for spending a bit of time with us.
Excellent.
Now, don't forget the show notes each link when you upload. Or you can just go to aussiemaczone.com.au and click on the notes and info button. There you'll see at least 5 weeks worth of shows and the notes. You can use Spotify, just search Aussie Mac Zone. But thanks to our sponsors this week being Aussie Tech Heads Domains and IT Help to You. And most importantly, our supporters, you, our listeners, very most important.
Absolutely.
So, over to you, Zarn.
Well, thanks, guys. A short show, but a great one. And hope to see you next week. Remember, apple a day keeps the androids away. See you guys.